The year is 1908. The streets are bustling with horse-drawn carriages and the occasional early automobile, a symbol of luxury and status. Henry Ford, a visionary and innovator, has a dream that will change the world. He envisions a car that is not just a privilege for the wealthy elite, but a practical vehicle for the everyday person. He wants to build a car for everyone, a car that is affordable, reliable, and easy to maintain. This revolutionary car will be simple in design, yet robust in performance. It will be called the Model T, a vehicle that will become a symbol of innovation and accessibility. The Model T is more than just a car. It represents a new era of transportation. It is designed to be easy to operate even for those who have never driven before.
Before the advent of the Model T, automobiles were seen as extravagant luxuries. They were complex machines that required significant wealth to own and maintain. These early cars were not only expensive, but also complicated to operate. They often required a chauffeur or a mechanic to keep them running. As a result, only the rich could afford the convenience and status that came with owning an automobile. Ford was determined to democratize the automobile. He believed that mobility should not be a privilege reserved for the wealthy, but a right accessible to all. With the Model T, Ford aimed to give everyone the freedom to travel, to explore, and to connect with the world around them.
The Model T was meticulously designed to be user-friendly. Its controls were straightforward, making it accessible to a wide range of drivers. It featured a simple yet powerful engine and a sturdy chassis that could withstand the rigors of daily use. Built to handle the rough and often unpaved roads of the time, the Model T was a versatile vehicle that could go almost anywhere. This was crucial because in the early 1900s, paved roads were a rarity, especially in rural areas. The Model T's durability and adaptability made it the perfect car for the diverse and challenging terrains of the era. The Model T quickly became a beloved vehicle, transforming the lives of countless families and individuals. It was more than just a mode of transportation, it was a symbol of freedom and progress. Ford's innovative assembly line production method made it possible to produce the Model T efficiently and at a lower cost, further driving down the price and making it accessible to even more people. The impact of the Model T was profound. It not only revolutionized the automobile industry, but also had a lasting effect on society, shaping the way people lived, worked, and traveled. Henry Ford's vision had taken shape, and the world would never be the same again. The Model T had paved the way for a new era of mobility and accessibility, forever changing the landscape of transportation.
To build a car for the masses, Ford needed a new way to manufacture. He needed to build cars faster and cheaper. His answer? The assembly line.
The assembly line was revolutionary. It broke down the car-building process into small, repetitive tasks. Each worker specialized in one task. This made production much faster.
Before the assembly line, it took over 12 hours to build a Model T. With the assembly line, that time was slashed. Ford was building a car every 93 minutes. This efficiency drove down the cost of production. The Model T wasn't static. It evolved over its 19-year production run. Ford was always looking for ways to improve the design. He listened to customer feedback.
Early Model Ts were basic. They came in only one color, black, but over time, Ford introduced new features. He added electric starters and different body styles.
The engine was also improved. It became more powerful and fuel efficient. Ford even experimented with different materials. He wanted to make the car lighter and stronger.
The Model T wasn't the only car on the market, but it quickly outpaced the competition. Why? Because it was affordable. Ford's efficient production methods made the Model T accessible to the average person.
Other cars at the time were expensive. They were seen as status symbols. The Model T changed that. It was a car for everyone. Farmers, teachers, shopkeepers, they could all afford a Model T.
This affordability had a profound impact. It democratized the automobile. The Model T was no longer a luxury, it was a necessity.
Section 5, a $5 workday, Ford's revolutionary business model.
Henry Ford was a visionary, not just in car design, but in business too. He revolutionized the automobile industry with his innovative ideas. He understood that happy workers were productive workers. Ford believed that by improving the working conditions and wages of his employees, he could increase their productivity and loyalty. So he introduced the $5 workday. This was a groundbreaking move that doubled the average wage of factory workers at the time.
This was unheard of at the time. The average factory worker earned much less, often working long hours in poor conditions for minimal pay. Most factory workers earned much less. Ford's decision to pay his workers $5 a day was seen as radical and even foolish by some of his contemporaries.
The $5 workday was more than just good pay. It was a strategic move to attract and retain the best workers. It was a way to boost morale and reduce turnover. By offering higher wages, Ford ensured that his workers were more satisfied and less likely to leave for other jobs.
Ford's business model was a success. The increased wages led to higher productivity and lower turnover rates, which in turn boosted the company's overall efficiency and profitability. The higher wages allowed his workers to afford the very cars they were building. This not only improved the lives of his employees, but also created a new market for Ford's automobiles. This created a new consumer base. By paying his workers enough to buy the products they made, Ford effectively turned his employees into customers, driving demand for his cars and ensuring the success of his business model. Section 6, America on the Move. The Model T's cultural impact. The Model T had a profound impact on American culture. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol of freedom and progress. Families could now embark on road trips, exploring parts of the country they had never seen before. The Model T made leisure travel accessible to the average American family. It changed the way people lived, worked, and played. Workers could commute to factories, expanding job opportunities beyond their immediate neighborhoods. The Model T became a common sight on the roads, a testament to its reliability and affordability. It broke down barriers between rural and urban areas. People from the countryside could now easily travel to the city for work or entertainment, and city dwellers could escape to the countryside for a weekend retreat. This interconnectivity fostered a greater sense of unity and shared experiences among Americans.
Before the Model T, people were limited by distance. Horse-drawn carriages were slow and impractical for long journeys. Travel was a luxury that few could afford, and most people spent their entire lives within a small radius of their birthplace. Farmers were tied to their land. Their lives revolved around the seasons and the demands of their crops. The isolation of rural life was a significant barrier to economic and social opportunities. With the Model T, they could travel to town for supplies or to visit family. It opened up new markets for their produce, allowing them to sell their goods in distant towns and cities. This mobility was a game changer for the agricultural community.
The Model T also fueled the growth of suburbs. As cities became more crowded, people sought the tranquility of suburban life. The affordability and reliability of the Model T made it possible for many families to own a car and move to the suburbs. People could now live further from their jobs in the city. The daily commute became a part of American life, and the Model T was at the heart of this transformation. It allowed people to enjoy the best of both worlds, the job opportunities of the city and the peaceful living of the suburbs. This led to the development of new communities and businesses. Suburban areas flourished, with new schools, shops, and recreational facilities springing up to meet the needs of the growing population. The Model T was more than just a car, it was a catalyst for change, shaping the American landscape and way of life in ways that are still felt today.
Section 7. Simple yet effective, the technology under the hood. The Model T's technology might seem primitive today, but it was innovative for its time.
It featured a 4-cylinder engine, a 3-speed transmission, and a detachable cylinder head. The engine was simple and reliable. It could run on gasoline or ethanol. This was important because gasoline was not always readily available.
The Model T also featured a planetary transmission. This made it easy to drive, even for beginners. The detachable cylinder head made repairs easier and cheaper.
Section 8. Paving the way. The rise of roads and infrastructure. The Model T's popularity created a demand for better roads. At the time, most roads were unpaved and muddy. They were no match for the Model T.
This led to a boom in road construction. The federal government invested heavily in infrastructure. New highways and bridges were built.
The Model T didn't just need roads. It also needed gas stations, repair shops, and dealerships. This created new industries and jobs.
Section 9, a legacy of innovation, the Model T's enduring influence. The last Model T rolled off the assembly line in 1927. but its legacy lived on. It revolutionized the automotive industry and changed the world.
Ford's assembly line became the standard for mass production. It was adopted by countless industries. His business practices influenced generations of entrepreneurs.
The Model T proved that cars could be affordable and accessible. It paved the way for the modern automobile. Section 10. The Model T, a timeless icon. Today, the Model T is a beloved icon. It represents a time of innovation and progress. It's a reminder of Henry Ford's vision, a car for the masses.
Vintage Model Ts are prized by collectors. They are a symbol of American ingenuity. Museums around the world showcase the Model T's story.
The Model T may be gone, but it's not forgotten. Its impact on the world is undeniable. It's a testament to the power of innovation and the human spirit.